This is WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul.
Good morning, Savannah. How is everybody this fine morning? You are here listening now to Savannah Lexicon, and we are certainly happy that you are. Aaron Go Bra. Did I say that okay?
Aaron Go Bra sounds good.
There you go. There you go. That's Derek Byrne from Ireland, so by gosh, he ought to know. And this is the St. Paddy's Day version, if you will, of American Lexicon, as Savannah hits its biggest party and parade and all sorts of grand events. And we have with us today Brian Coonahan, the General Chairman for the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you. And as I said, Derek Byrne. Now, Derek, you were the guest speaker at the Celtic Cross ceremony. Is that right?
That's right. I was, yes, on Sunday past, yep.
Okay. And you are otherwise currently the Commissioner of Police for the Cayman Islands.
Yes, over here for the festivities for the week.
Okay, and 36 years, though, with the Irish National Police. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. Just after I left, I moved to Cayman Islands, yeah. 36 years in Ireland before that.
Okay. A little warmer down there?
In Cayman Islands, beautiful weather.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Kind of like Savannah, sort of, particularly out on Tybee, maybe. Okay, well, we're glad to have you guys, and this is indeed the week to be Irish or act like you are, even if you aren't. We've got so much going on this week, of course, in Savannah, and I have had the good fortune to visit Ireland. I was telling you, Derek, a little bit about that, and what a grand place. I did go. You're from Dublin, I believe you said, and I did visit Dublin just a day or two, and then on to Dingle, and Dingle is a beautiful seaside kind of coastal town. Had some very, very good times there. It's really nice to have some honest-to-goodness, legitimate Guinness off on the tap in an honest-to-goodness Irish pub. Man, that's hard to beat. That's good stuff. But if you're not on the actual Emerald Isle, then Savannah around St. Paddy's Day is certainly about as close as it comes to being there. So we've already had a whole lot of great St. Paddy's Day activities going on. We had the Irish Festival and Kelly Dance. Is it Kelly? Is that more or less correct?
Yeah, Kelly's good.
Kelly Dance in February. Naming of the Grand Marshal for the 2017 parade, who is, in fact, Brian, who is that?
That's my brother,
That's
Dennis.
Your brother,
yeah.
Dennis. He was going to try to be here today. He's not here today, but we're certainly glad that Derek is. We also had the greening of the fountain last Saturday, of course. Family-friendly Tara Fesh, I should say, in Emmett Park last week. The Celtic Cross Mass this past Sunday, which is where you spoke, Derek. And the Maura and Mickey Nelligan concert here at actually the Unitarian Universalist Church. So all of that has already taken place. The day after tomorrow, of course, the grand parade is going to start out with the St. Patrick's Day Mass, the Feast of St. Patrick at 8 a.m. in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. And then promptly at 10:15 is going to be the grand parade, the second largest parade in the U.S. right here in beautiful Savannah, which is absolutely astounding when you think of the size of Savannah as compared to some.
But the best parade.
Huge, but the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Second largest, but the number one best. You got that right. My numbers, and correct me if I'm wrong here with anything I'm throwing out here, Brian, but more than 350 marching units.
Well, this year we're probably going to be closer to 300.
Okay. That's not enough. That's
we try to stay between 280 to 310 units.
Okay. All right. Well, that's plenty. up to 15,000 people maybe involved
in the parade.
The parade, drawing perhaps 400,000 visitors or something along those lines, which is a lot of people coming in.
Yeah, we've heard anywhere from 350 to 500,000 this year.
That's a lot of people coming in.
All the hotels are booked up
from all over the world, including Ireland, by the way, of course. And so it's an absolutely just huge, stunning parade and festival and event here in Savannah, Georgia. So everybody, I've been seeing green all over the place already, and we're certainly going to continue to be seeing a lot of green around and about. So, Brian, just give us an overview of the festival this year, and is there anything different going on, or is it we're staying, I'm sure, basically to the tried and true kind of formula that we have? But I know for one thing, you mentioned that you kind of have, you being a law enforcement officer, and by the way, you are chief deputy, right?
I'm the commander of the Chatham County Sheriff's Department.
Commander of the Chatham County Sheriff's Department, okay. You've kind of brought that element or made the connection here. Tell us in what way you've brought the law enforcement angle, if you will, to this parade.
Of course, I invited Derek to speak this week at the Celtic Cross. One thing I wanted to do is to bring the law enforcement into the forefront. This is not political, but in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been kind of held under a microscope and in some ways demonized. And I wanted to show the public, especially in Savannah, that wherever you are in law enforcement or wherever in the world, you're trying to do good for the community. There might be a few bad apples, any profession you have.
Sure.
But 99.9% of the men and women in law enforcement are trying to do the right thing. We have the same problems you have, the same worries, raising families, but we're human just like anybody else.
Sure.
So we got Derek. He was gracious enough to come over. The Garda from Ireland, a lot of those guys are coming. I've known them for the last 4 or 5 years. Great man, great woman. We have representation from Interpol. The Mountjoy prison guards, they're coming over. So it's going to be a great time. And I just want everybody to know that they're great people, normal people, just like you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, thank you both for the tough jobs that you do in law enforcement, because that is certainly not an easy job by any means. And that's something that everybody should be appreciative of. Before we get really so much into the parade and the festivities in total, perhaps, let's just mention that the parade committee really works year-round on this.
Yeah, matter of fact, believe it or not, we have our first meeting as soon as the parade's over.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
We try to keep it within 30 minutes to see if there's any problems, any units that gave us any problems, what went good, what went bad. Starting April, we meet once a month. January, we start meeting once a week. And come to the end of February, we're meeting every day.
Man, oh, man.
Well, you have to.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is a big, big thing.
Sure. We had a little problem last night, and we're working on it this morning, and we're going to have it corrected in probably another hour and a half. So.
Okay. All right. Well, good deal. Good deal. There's a whole tradition, obviously, here in Savannah with this festival and the Irish community. Can you give us just a thumbnail overview of sort of the heritage, the Irish heritage here, and end of this festival itself, literally? Which this, I think, is the 193rd?
Correct.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's something that's inbred in you if you're part of this Irish community. My father it was a mainstay of anything he wanted to do with his family. He wanted us to remember what our forefathers did coming over here. They sacrificed. They were indentured servants. They took jobs that others couldn't, eventually moving into law enforcement, industry, railroad, fire department, and eventually became leaders of the community and the country.
Yeah.
And it's something that we love to have every year. We see friends who we haven't seen in years. Some of my friends, my dad was friends of their fathers and grandfathers. So it's just a big family event, and it's just wonderful to carry on this tradition. My children, my grandchildren, they're going to be there. They come to the events, and I'm trying to pass that on to them like any other person in this committee.
Yeah. Well, it's a grand tradition here in Savannah for sure, and it just is so amazing to me that it's the second largest in the entire nation. I mean, you think of Chicago and New York and Los Angeles and other places that could be having this kind. Right here in Savannah, Georgia, the second largest in the nation, and as you so aptly put it, the best.
That's right.
So we're looking at it, and I'm just going to run through again real quickly the parade route. Probably everybody in Savannah essentially knows the parade route, but for those who might be listening who are new to this, or just to kind of serve as a reminder, parade begins at Gwinnett and Abercorn, just east of Forsyth Park, travels along Abercorn to Broughton, down sections of East Broad Street, East Bay Street, and Bull Street, and ends around Madison Square. Now, anything different this year in the route?
No, everything's the same. Just watch your parking so you don't get towed.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, a whole lot of, obviously streets are shut off. The parade route streets, and you just don't need to be parking anywhere close to even the parade route. There are some shuttle things, I think, going from.
Yeah, I know Walmart on Wilmington Island, but I don't know where else.
Okay.
Another thing is hide your valuables, because there's a lot of break-ins in vehicles during that day.
Okay, yeah, good point. Well, the law enforcement officer element comes out. That's absolutely right. Good point to everybody. So, this is not a time for cars. You need to be parked way out and walk in, or to catch a shuttle, or whatever kind of situation you can to do this. You don't need to be driving or even trying to drive anywhere close to the heart of the city here this weekend as things get going. And Derek, let me just switch to you for a minute. You've been coming about the fourth time, you said?
Yeah, this is my fourth year coming to Savannah, returning for the fourth time.
And what do you think of the festival?
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Would I be here otherwise? I came on 3 occasions. I was representing the Irish National Police Service on Garda Síochána.
Okay.
And on this occasion, I change hats and I come from the Cayman Islands. But I love coming here. My wife is accompanying me this year. Fantastic event, very, very well planned, and I don't think there's any other place that I would rather be than here in Savannah. Beautiful, enchanting city.
Excellent. Well, you're in the Cayman Islands, and I know that you have an allegiance to that, but you're still Irish. For sure.
Through and through. As far as genealogy can trace me back, I'm Irish.
Okay. All right. I don't know. What can we expect? Now, we got the Clydesdales, for one thing, right? Again, we've got the Clydesdales. They're already here, those magnificent animals.
Yep, they sure are.
What else can we expect to see this year? Of course, a lot of kilts and some bagpipes and some other pipes. And
you got a whole bunch of military. I would say 4 to maybe 5,000. We have the 3rd ID, the Rangers, Coast Guard, Navy, as we have every year. The Irish Air Corps pipe and drums coming over. Everything. We were afraid they were going to get delayed for weather, but they're getting here.
Good.
U.S. Customs and Border Patrol pipe and drums. They played at Trump's inauguration. They're supposed to be fantastic. They're going to be marching out of parade. Matter of fact, they're going to be my band. Fairfield nice Gaelic pipe and drum. And, of course, all the we have another Clydesdale unit, and I cannot remember the name of it, but they're black. They were in about 2 years ago, and they are absolutely gorgeous.
I've never seen black Clydesdales.
And Wachovia, the coach, they're going to be here with theirs. So we should have 3 sets of Clydesdales.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, this is the kind of parade that ought to have 3 sets of Clydesdales.
There you go.
That's amazing.
But it's going to be we have about 30 bands coming in, high school and college, and, of course, these different Irish organizations. So it'll be musical, and it'll be fun.
It'll undoubtedly be fun.
Yeah, I hope so.
And by the way, your guys, the city police and the county, they're going to have your hands full, probably trying to keep the revelry to a dignified or semi-dignified level.
Absolutely.
There's always some people who maybe imbibe a little bit too much, and kind of do some things that might not be too good. But
one thing people don't realize is that we don't get any money from the city or any alcohol sales or anything. We raise our finances from the magazine we put out at a golf tournament. So we're not the ones out there partying and selling the booze or selling the beer, even though I like beer. But we're totally separate from all that.
Yeah.
We're here for the parade, and that's what we're here for.
Wow, so all of it's funded just from that?
Yes, sir.
That must be one heck of a golf tournament.
Well, we have the golf tournament. We do a raffle.
And the magazine, and I've seen the magazine. So
right.
That's a very well done magazine.
And we usually bring in 150 to 180,000 off the magazine, and then we do have a raffle for a trip to Ireland that we do every year.
Ooh, I need to put in for that.
It's a good thing. Good chance.
I need to get back over there. Okay. All right. Excellent. And Brian, tell me, Derek, tell me just a little bit about the experience that you had Sunday. You were representing and speaking at the Celtic Cross ceremony. What did you talk about?
Well, firstly, it was a wonderful event as we started off in the church. 32 county flags were brought in, a fantastic spectacle. Packed to capacity, and then we marched to Emmett Park, and I spoke about the heritage of the Irish here in Savannah, and we came, as far as I can trace it, back around the 1800s. We worked on the Georgia Railway, as I understand it, and then predominantly the men tended to work in police and fire. That's where they started.
Yeah.
And at that time it was considered quite a menial job, policing and fire department.
Yeah.
Of course, it has grown now. It's quite a respected profession now, thankfully.
Yes.
Moved over the years. So Sunday was about celebrating ancestry, being Irish, heritage, values, traditions, culture, moving over, bringing that memory with the Irish community over here. Great traditions. At that time when people left Ireland there in the 1800s, it was an agrarian society and things were quite poor. Forcing people to leave. Potato famine came, and I think that was the second swathe of Irish that had to travel abroad. They came over, but I mean, it was the land of opportunity, and people have settled here, made fantastic lives for themselves. And I'm over here speaking to lots of Irish people, great traditions, and it's fantastic to meet them. And it's amazing how you can make connections between Savannah and Ireland. And as I said, I'm back for my 4th year and enjoying it, and hopefully many more.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing these days, particularly in the current political climate, this whole idea of immigrants, because the Irish were immigrants, of course, to the U.S. and came over here, worked hard, very hard. And as you noted, both, I mean, initially were involved in quite menial tasks, generally speaking. And had to, they came over for the opportunity. They saw this country as the kind of open opportunity that it still is, and just came in and fit in and worked hard and have made a good home here. Those who have immigrated here and stayed here. So yeah. Excellent. And we certainly have a grand tradition and heritage here of Ireland and the Irish here in Savannah. We are going to take a short break here in just a minute, just a brief musical interlude. And don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with Brian Coonahan, General Chairman, St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, and Derek Byrne with the Irish native who was the guest speaker at the Celtic Cross ceremony and spent 36 years with the Irish National Police. We're going to continue the conversation and talk more about this grand celebration of St. Patty's Day here in Savannah. Hang on, y'all. We'll be right back. I'm Wayne Waters, and I host Savannah Lexicon on WRUULP 107.5 FM every Wednesday from 9 to 10. Savannah Lexicon is a conversation with representatives of this city's social, political, and cultural organizations. Give it a listen every Wednesday morning, 9 to 10, here on WRUULP 107.5 FM. All right, we are back. And I want to first just make a little bit of an announcement regarding the show, just so everybody knows. Next week, I am going to start hosting. I'm going to double up. I'm going to start hosting Savannah Lexicon on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8 o'clock. Rather than 9. We've been going Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock all of this time. Now we're going to switch to 8 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, prior to that, I'm going to be doing a show. I'm going to be doing a new version of Savannah Rising. Excuse me. Hopefully, many of you are aware of Savannah Rising. It's been going at Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 o'clock in the morning. That is now, I'm going to be doing that twice a week, and that was Pam. Pam was doing that show. She's no longer going to be doing the show, so I'm going to do it twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, from 7 to 8, Savannah Rising, and I'm going to have Americana music, we can say, which is a great big basket of influence that can cover a lot of territory, from the likes of Ryan Adams, the Avett Brothers, Shovels and Rope, Neil Young, lots of other kinds of folks, Bob Dylan, lots of other kinds of music. So lots of good various kinds of Americana music. I have a little conversation, a little this, a little that. That'll be from 7 to 8. And then 8 to 9, Savannah Lexicon as usual. So I wanted to alert you to that, and that will start next week. So this is the last Wednesday morning version of Savannah Lexicon, the last 9 o'clock version of Savannah Lexicon, as we go Tuesday, Thursdays at 8 o'clock, starting next week. Okay. Also, while we're at it, I want to tell you that this portion of WRUULP Savannah Soundings programming is made possible by a grant from Connect Savannah, the Arts, News, and Entertainment Weekly. Connect Savannah is available at locations around the city and online at connectsavannah.com. We appreciate them, and we certainly appreciate you for listening to Savannah Lexicon. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to while we're on the great St. Paddy's Day show here, I wanted to give you just a little snippets. The Irish, of course, have a great literary tradition and heritage, and I wanted to give you just excuse me, just a little taste of that. And since I am lucky enough to have a true Irishman here today, I'm going to let him give you just a little quote, a little snippet of some of that grand Irish literature. Derek?
Yeah, just looking at George Bernard Shaw, and he said a life spent making mistakes is not only more honourable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing.
There you go. That's good advice. Very good advice. One more?
Yeah, looking at J.M. Singh, there's no language like the Irish for soothing and quieting.
There you go. You can't argue with that, particularly when it's an Irishman who's actually saying it.
Gotcha. And don't forget the Irish women. That's very important. You know, sometimes I think that people thought it was only the men that left Ireland in the 1800s. The Irish women, travelled as well, and they made a huge contribution to society all over the world, but in the States, including Savannah.
Oh,
and
sure.
Maybe not to forget them.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. They make a grand contribution. Any women anywhere do. And we certainly don't want to forget them. My ex-girlfriend had some Irish lineage, and I will not go into that story, however. But
for another day. Huh?
For another day, maybe in a pub somewhere. I might couple of Guinness. I might get into that story, but certainly not here and now.
Guinness can be the truth revealer.
Indeed it can. And by the way, do not, whatever you do, if you're drinking a Guinness, don't slurp it down so that you don't get the foam. All right? No, don't do that. Just go ahead with the mustache. It's a good way to do. You got to do that. All right, what else can we talk about here today, gentlemen? This is going to be a grand event, no doubt. And what are you going to be actually doing? You're going to, of course, walk in the parade.
Yeah, we get up about 4:15.
Ooh.
There's 12 Irish societies in Savannah.
Yeah.
We'll hit most of their breakfasts just to say hello.
Yeah.
Then we'll go to the mansion. We'll meet with the adjutant staff. That's the guys in the white jackets you see along the parade route.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have breakfast with them. Head over to church, to the cathedral. Proceed in, have start our day with Mass, and get out of there. By 10:15, I'll be back down at what we call the funnel, and we'll kick off. After I finish marching in the parade, I'm one of the first units.
Right.
Then we'll work the parade. I'll be out the reviewing stand. We make sure silly things like nobody has alcohol in the parade, nobody's being crazy in the parade. We'll put them out in the parade or whatever. But that's my day, and as soon as the parade's over, around 3 o'clock, we head back into the office. We'll have a quick meeting,
That's
go over
amazing.
everything, have a toast together, and then I go to the Hibernians that night. So it's a busy day.
Yeah. Starting at 4:15 in the morning, that's a very busy day.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a few years, so I'm used to it.
Oh, man. And then to have the meeting right afterwards, that blows my mind right there. I wouldn't even be able to think straight even at that point after the parade.
Yeah, well, we have a few things that happen, maybe some units that are misbehaving that we don't want back next year or we want to speak to, and we had to get all that down straight.
Well, that's smart. I mean, while it's fresh in your mind and you can clamp down on it right then and make a note of it and plan ahead. That's a good idea. But, boy, that is a demanding day.
Well, one thing I preach everywhere I go is there's 19 guys on the executive committee. Really 18, but we have a chaplain and we have a counselor, legal counsel. And these guys give hundreds of hours a year to this event. And their families, their wives, if it wasn't for them, we couldn't do it.
Sure.
Because we're away from home a good bit.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, we're glad you do.
Appreciate it.
I say that, and I'm sure I can say that for everybody in Savannah. I mean, we're glad you do, because this is just such a very, very special event for this city. I mean, my goodness, what it brings, not only in terms of, tourism and dollars, and that's not to be sneezed at by any means, but, also just in terms of tradition and heritage, and it means a lot to this city. It means a heck of a lot. And to think that this has been going on for 193 years, that blows my mind right there. I mean, in American history, that's a really long time.
Sure is. You're absolutely right.
In Europe, it's 193. What's that? But in American history, that's about as long as as you can go, almost, in a sense. As I understand, as always, and I'm assuming there will be this year too, there are some bleachers out and about, right?
Yeah, those bleachers you can get on our website, St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee.
St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee.
All
okay.
one word, and it'll tell you, give you the bleacher information.
And that's .com or org?
.com.
.com. Okay. Okay, so there are bleachers, and I guess it has to be secured in advance.
Yeah, I think it's $25 per ticket, per seat.
Do you think there's any left?
Yeah, there's some left.
Oh, there is some left.
There should be. There usually is.
Okay.
We brought in, I think, 1 or 2 extra bleachers this year.
Okay, and those are at strategic points along the parade route. Any suggestions you might have about, the best way to, the best and safest and most responsible way to have fun with this thing?
Well, try not to drive if you're going to drink. I know one thing.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter-in-law taught me how to Uber the other night, and that's the first time we used it.
Oh, yeah?
And it was a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
The old Uber, okay, good.
Use them.
Yeah,
Get a shuttle or whatever if you're going to have a
Absolutely.
good time. And I don't overdo it. That's one thing we on the committee, we don't drink before. We'll have a couple of drinks after, and we just try to enjoy family and enjoy the event. But, be careful. Watch out where you're going. Don't walk down dark alleys, especially when it gets dark at night. Know where you are. Go in a group. And, like I say, keep your valuables put in your trunk, because there's a lot of cars broken into St. Patrick's Day.
Man, oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, be careful, y'all. Yeah, and by the way, on the driving thing, while I have an opportunity, stop texting, all right? That's not as bad as drinking and driving now, I'll give you that. But don't text and drive either. You take your eyes off the road, you don't know what you're doing, the next thing you know, you're plowing into a car or a human being. So don't do that. And that's against the law, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is against the law.
There's a lot of accidents caused by that.
Absolutely. It's against the law, people. All right. Do you have that problem? Well, maybe not in St. Caymans as much, but probably in Ireland there's some texting and driving going on that's resulting.
Sure. Mobile phone usage, texting, and Brian is right. It's a dangerous practice.
Yeah.
So stay safe. Don't text.
Yeah. And obviously don't drink and drive either. That's a given. Wear some sunscreen.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of you. even though it's frigid out here this morning. But it's not going to be quite this bad on Parade
It's going to
Day.
be cold that morning, but it's going to warm up and you're going to cook.
It's going to warm up and the sun's going to be out. And, man, that's the thing. In fact, it's almost more dangerous because it is cold and you'd think that you're not, nothing's going on, but the sun's still shining on you and you're going to get burned if you do burn easy. So wear some sunscreen, a hat maybe, that kind of thing. Obviously wear some green. Yeah, so just have a good time, and I'll tell you, if you want to get the prime spots, you're going to have to get there early, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're wanting to get like right up there at the street level, right up on the street, you're going to have to get there early. But whether you do or not, you'll certainly be able to see what's going on with this big parade and have a very good time in any case. But if you are trying to get right there up front, you got to get there early. And this is it's probably gonna last 3 hours, maybe?
Yeah, at least 3 hours, 15 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
We had a few lags last year, and we've corrected that, so it should flow pretty well.
Okay. What in terms of because there's all sorts of different people marching. I mean, you've mentioned some, and of course, many of the Irish heritage groups and musical groups as well that are marching, and organizations. High school marching bands.
Yeah, we got plenty of them coming around from the state of Georgia, and I think we have one coming from maybe Pennsylvania, if I'm correct.
How did that happen?
They hear about the parade, they want to be in it.
Wow.
I guess they just want to see it and be part of it.
Wow.
So we get that all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is Armstrong?
Armstrong's in. Georgia Southern's in.
Oh, good.
Savannah State's in.
All right.
It'll be a good showing.
Okay. And a whole lot of banners, a few shillelaghs. Is that right?
I'm sure we'll see shillelaghs on the
see
day.
some
Yeah,
shillelaghs.
everything that's Irish will be out on the
You'll
day.
see
Yeah.
mine.
We'll see some berets. We'll see some shillelaghs. We'll see some probably fake 4-leaf clovers. You name it. Anything Irish you can think of, you'll probably see on this day.
If you got a 4-leaf, you're in trouble. It should be a 3-leaf.
That's for sure.
Oh, a 3-leaf. Exactly. Yes, or a 4-leaf. Any kind of clover. And I'm still just getting over the workday you're going to have, though, Brian. That's going to be something. But still, it's the culmination of a year's work at the same time.
Absolutely.
So, it's got to be a really grand feeling for you, just a sense of accomplishment and survival.
It is. My dad was Grand Marshal in 1988, and it's a great thing. It's a great feeling, and I think it's going to be a big relief because you don't know how much pressure there is until you get this job. When you're coming up through the chairs,
right?
But when you get this, then you realize
you say, "Oh, now I know what you're talking about."
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
And it's your brother, right? That's going to be the Grand Marshal.
Correct, Dennis.
And Dennis, he will be up front and center, no doubt.
Absolutely.
And your brother's, people know Dennis in Savannah, but he's been in a number of activities through the years, real estate and...
Oh, yeah, he was a school teacher, went out to Clark Pavilion and created some program for the children out there, then left there, went into real estate, so he's been around.
Yeah. So that's good. That's got to feel good to have your brother as the Grand Marshal as well.
It's good, but
Wait.
It's still your brother, and it's like herding cats, and you get kind of aggravated about it because you got to be somewhere at a certain time. You need to be there.
Yes, indeed. I know what you mean, but that's going to be good. So both of you guys front and center on this thing, and Derek, you're coming back, aren't you? You're gonna come back sometime, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope.
Okay,
we head for year 5.
All right. What usually, there's a lot going on in the city, obviously, because this starts about 15?
10:15 will kick off.
10:15 on the button, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of taking off at the right time and being in the right place and going, 10:15 on the button. Going to last several hours. So What about afterwards? What's it like, in the city afterwards? Lots of people leaving the parade and...
Oh, yeah, River Street, City Market's packed.
Right, so River Street will have its own festivities really in the evening, I guess.
Most of us will either go to Knights of Columbus or the Irish Heritage reception, eat, drink something, but we do a lot of family things, just like before the parade, the night before the parade, the executive committee will meet and have a little food and drink with the family, all the kids, and kind of relax before we kick off. But yeah, St. Patrick's Day is, you've been here, you know how it is. There's a lot more going on than I know probably and want to know.
I was going to say, some of it you don't want to know. Some of it I wish I didn't know at this point. But yeah, it's obviously things continue after the big parade, and the bars will be full, no doubt. The restaurants will be full. River Street will be going on. River Street, there'll be plenty of folks down on River Street before the sort of evening festivities kick off. But all sorts of stuff going on. And we should note, I'm going to note too, that, let's see, there's actually a couple of allied events, you might say, really after the big day. There's the Kilt and Color, for instance, run on the 19th on Hutchinson Island, and that is a charity event, with a charity connection with the Low Country Down Syndrome Society. And registration opens at 6:30 a.m. The event begins with a timed 5K race, followed by a quarter-mile kids fun run. So that's going to be going on. And the Irish Road Bowling. This is something that I have to admit I had not heard about or known about.
Yeah, they've been doing this a few years.
Also on Hutchinson Island at 10 a.m. A big bowling event. Now, this is, do I have this right? In the Road?
Yeah, it's over there by the racetrack. I've never Irish bowled, but I've seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big tradition in rural Ireland, Sunday morning after Mass. Yeah,
really?
Going back many, many years. Yeah, great tradition, yeah.
I will confess utter, complete ignorance on this particular aspect of this whole thing, both in Ireland and here. But, yeah, Irish Road Bowling. So, typically features a 3-inch steel ball propelled down, either a country road, perhaps in Ireland, or a predetermined road or course, and the team gets the ball to the end in the fewest attempts, wins. Savannah's game will feature 3-person teams. That's interesting. That is interesting. Pre-registration is at O'Connell's Pub, 42 Drayton Street. Okay, Irish Road Bowling. I mean, there's even more to this than I thought. And then the next day, St. Baldrick's, Savannah City Market from noon to 4 p.m. Shave your head to benefit childhood cancer research. Or has that already taken place?
I'm not sure.
I was thinking.
I don't know.
Okay. Folks, check on that. Check me on that. I'll be honest with you, because I saw it listed for March 20th. But then again, I remember seeing something in the paper about some kind of shaved head thing going on. So how many shaved head things can there be? Now, I do that every day myself. But for most people, do it for charity. So I don't know. Check on that. But you can check www.stbaldricks.org and make sure about that particular benefit event. So we'll see about that and make sure about that. But yeah, even after the parade, what else what else is on your mind about the parade? What can you tell us about
Well,
the
besides the
parade?
parade, one event we forgot to talk about is
Okay.
Thursday, March the 16th, the Sergeant William Jasper ceremony.
Ah,
And that's where we honor the military past and present.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Right. We'll march from Johnson Square starting at 4:30 and go to Madison Square, where we'll have a little ceremony. We'll have a couple of bands. The military will be represented.
Okay.
Very nice ceremony if you're out and about.
Good. Well, I'll tell you, walking the streets lately, I've already seen, man, the hordes are here already.
They are.
Hey, that's good. I say the hordes. I say it with love and affection because, again, they're coming to Savannah for this grand event. They're filling up the hotel rooms and they're eating in restaurants, and they're here to have a good time and share some mirth with us as we get ready for this big day. All right. We are going to take our last little break here before we kind of close out and do the last segment of the show. But again, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for some more Savannah Lexicon. are back, Savannah, and I'm glad you're still listening to us at Savannah Lexicon here on our special St. Patty's Day celebration show. I do want to bring this in. If you enjoy our programming on WRUULP, please support the station with a donation. As an individual, you can give any amount, become a basic station member, or become a serious fan of the station. To check out membership rates and to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select to donate monthly or subscribe to an annual membership. Again, to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select to donate monthly or subscribe to an annual membership. Thank you for listening to and supporting WRUULP. And thank you for listening to Savannah Lexicon. And I know that you're out there and you just want so much to hear some more authentic Irish brogue. And we have got just the man who can actually give that to you. And no, it is not me. But I do want you to listen to some more of that grand Irish literature with a legitimate Irish voice letting it out there to you. So, Derek, what do we got this time?
This is a quote from John O'Donoghue. "The joyful heart sees and reads the world with a sense of freedom and graciousness."
There you go. Short, sweet, and simple, but damn good. And one more?
Yeah, I see one here from Samuel Beckett. And he says, "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better."
There you go. That's a secret of life, y'all. Indeed. Don't worry about failing. Okay, you fail. All right, so what? Pick it up, try it again. You might fail again, so what? You'll have moved up the ladder. Keep going. You get better and better and better. I keep telling myself that's going to happen with me on this show, and I'm not sure, but maybe. Okay. Some of that good Irish literature. And if you haven't read any in a while, man, you need to tuck into some. We here at Savannah Lexicon, as the show's title would suggest, are serious readers. We love books. So read you some Samuel Beckett, some George Bernard Shaw, some J.M. Singh, John O'Donoghue, technically, well, there's any number of others. James Joyce, for sure, you know. Check some of that out if you haven't done so. I know you ran into it in school, but maybe you haven't tried it since. If that's the case, I urge you to do so. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. I have some things that I need to say, kind of shop talk, but let me first just take it back to you guys. Anything that needs to be said, or you want to say in a closing kind of a way, or did we kind of we covered things? Again, the website is
St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee.com.
Okay, anything and everything you want to know about everything that's going on, pretty much, is there for you. And it's going to be a grand event, no doubt. Anything? Are we good?
Just thank you for inviting us, and
Certainly.
I really appreciate Derek coming over and doing us that great talk the other day.
Yeah, I mean, delighted to be here, and a happy St. Patrick's Day to all Irish Americans in Savannah. Have a safe time. It's a wonderful place to be. Lots of partying going on. Stay safe.
All right. Very well put. I'm going to continue, but I want to take a moment now to thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. If you can kind of sit tight with me just a minute.
Absolutely.
We do appreciate so much you coming in and getting us ready for St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be a great, great event. I just wanted to take the opportunity to again remind everybody that everything is going to change for Savannah Lexicon next week, and for Savannah Rising. Savannah Rising, you've been used to hearing Pam on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. she no longer is going to be doing that for us. She may be doing another show at a later time. That's not yet determined. We hope so. I'm going to be doing a sort of a new version of Savannah Rising on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8. Going to be playing, it will not be just, as it were, a talk show, if you will, like Savannah Lexicon. It will be primarily a music show. I'll be playing some good Americana music, which covers a whole lot of territory, from Bob Dylan to Shovels and Rope and, gosh, who knows, all sorts of good stuff. So you can listen to some music. I'll probably have a little conversation. I might even actually bring out a few quotes, not necessarily Irish, but a few quotes. I won't even attempt an Irish brogue in any case, because I've done that before and completely failed. So I don't try that. I don't do that anymore. But hopefully you'll enjoy that, the new Savannah Rising, 7 to 8 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Savannah Lexicon, which you've been hearing and are hearing right now on a Wednesday from 9 to 10, is going to go to 8 to 9 in the mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I certainly hope that you will continue to listen to us and kind of just get your ears tuned to a little bit earlier timing for it. Democracy Now! Is going to continue to be broadcast after my shows, and so that's always a treat. I mean, that's good stuff to have going here in Savannah, and glad to have that coming in behind me. So everybody, do continue to listen. And, of course, we've got a whole slate of music that goes all day, and some great shows in the evening, some hosted shows in the evening as well. My producer and tech guy, Keith Baudry over here, has got his own show Friday 5 to 6 called Spectrum Sci-Fi Show. So check that out if you haven't already. And he also has some interesting tidbits and some like old radio serials that he puts in there sometimes, some tech news, some sci-fi chatter, and all of that kind of stuff. Very entertaining show on Fridays, and that's going to continue as is, right, Keith? Mm-hmm. Okay, so no changes there. Just more good stuff there. We do appreciate you listening to Savannah Lexicon and to WRUU LP in general. Appreciate it so much. This is WRUU LP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. And listen for me again next week at 7 o'clock for Savannah Rising, followed at 8 o'clock for Savannah Lexicon. And everybody have a grand good time with St. Patty's Day. Be safe, have fun, and listen in next week. Thanks so much.